Brothers and sisters, generals, if you learn nothing else from me on this channel, those who've been riding along, current subscribers, new subscribers, anybody that view, never ever break that divine connection. And that's with oneself, our sons, our daughters, our loved ones, those we care about in our circles, those who are reachers and teachers, whether in the world or online, who are raising generals. But that first general starts with ourselves. As I always like to say, righteous ripple effect. It's wonderful when we can get that in our soul. You know, always work for the common good of humanity and or culture, you know, at all costs. Now, it's going to be challenging times. It's going to be things that try to make us feel weary. There's going to be things that try to tempt us, things that try to take us away from important things we need to see in this life, whether it's person, place, or thing. But when we study divine abilities that's within all of us, if we invest in ourselves and pull it out, we will never break that divine connection. As you see on my banner here, that's my son. And as I said, I got 5 children, and I got biological children and spiritually adopted children. You know, my loved ones I care about. And when I say break that divine connection, and I mean, of course, we have to interact with each other as humans. I'm talking about physical, but I think the most important is spiritual, because, you know, every family is different. You know, we work, some have moved away, some have transitioned. As I always say, those we held dear in our families that may have transitioned, may they rest in peace and in power. Anyone in this world that was a righteous impact, whether small or big, may they rest in peace and in power. And that's brother or sister in history and in our families. We got to keep that spirit strong. You know, don't take life or death for granted, because that's something I don't joke about. And that's why we don't break that divine connection. So we can have that, what I always say, that divine clarity. It's wonderful when we have it, but we got to seek it out, be hungry for it. As I say, like my connection I have with my son, Ethan, you know, and we have a divine connection, you know, of course, as I say, as young children, young brothers and young sisters, I say around the age 9 and maybe a little younger, somewhere around that age group before they get to the teenage stage. You know, it's wonderful when you see the intelligence in our children when they're young. It's wonderful, you know, in anybody, in adults too. It's great. But it's wonderful when, you know, because we still want them to be a child, you know, still want them to have the enjoyment of being a youth, you know, but it's wonderful when you see the intelligence in a young youth. It's wonderful. So, but we have to be in the space to see it. And we too, as adults, of course, as we all know, have to be intelligent also, you know, and it's just wonderful when we can, you know. So we just got to stay at it and know that what we're doing, even in the times when, like I say, when things are challenging, when we can't see what's going on, or we think we can't see, but we keep that connection with that great divine, because eventually we will see, you know. Again, all we got to do, that reflection, you know, little reflection never hurts. When we think of those things we powered through that we thought were impossible, you know, that's how we know we can make it through now. We can make it through anything, you know. You just have to keep studying, never break that great divine connection, you know. And I've had that connection with my son. I have a video on here. I have video clips of, you know, I have audio podcasts where I talked about all my children. Then I have videos of some of my son, Lord Lamont. Me and him got videos. And as I said, I got 2 daughters and another son that lives in other states. And I've done podcasts on them. And I have pictures of them on thumbnails. Except for my son, Elijah. I have to do a podcast on my son, Elijah. I think he's the only one I don't have a picture of on here on my channel. But yeah, I've talked about him in past podcasts. And I bring him up every now and then. And I have that divine connection to them. And I'm going to get into the deep spiritual divine connections we can have with our loved ones, even when we're not around them. But you have to be in that space. Can be have things clouding us down, like via person, place, thing. Stay connected to your loving self within that divine self. I'm telling you, best way we can. Always meditate, pray, whatever we do, have quiet moments so we can be ready, so we leave no cracks in our armor if we can help it, but we got to study and practice, study human nature on ourselves, because we can't begin to teach others or show others or give advice if we don't have ourselves right, and this for me now. So I throw me in there too. I'm in the fight just like everybody else, but every day isn't a fight. That's just a figure of speech, so it's all how we talk to ourselves. A lot of times we have to motivate ourselves, because who knows us better than ourselves? Everywhere we go, there we are. So that's why we can't break that divine connection with ourselves. Again, family, significant other, if we have one, our children, even in our silent moments. Think about our family and our loved ones then too. And that's what I mean about not breaking that divine connection. Because as I told my son, Lord Lamont, even when I'm in my solitude, I'm still calling down protection from that great divine for oneself and everybody else. And I always say for ourselves, from ourselves. Because again, as many of us say, and I've said many times, the enemy within have to conquer that. So then we can help our youth, our sons, our daughters, and other generals in our circles. We can help them deal with that enemy within, because the enemy within can be very tricky. So that's why you'll hear all day, every day, study human natures, pay attention to things, especially within ourselves. It's not all, we do have to pay attention to the environment we are in, but the one main environment is the one within ourselves. And I'll even use advice from another brother that says, we can study astrology in the universe, but something this one brother always says is his, it's not mine. He always say, get your inner verse right. Get that right first before we begin to explore the outer, because the outer will be very, very challenging if that inner isn't taken care of. So this way we won't break that connection with our youth, our loved ones, family, most of all, ourselves. So never, ever break that connection. If you feel things within you, if you're having dreams, if you're seeing signs, pay attention to stuff like that. I'm talking about good signs. If animals are coming up to you and not afraid of you, pay attention to things like that. Or if you see crows crowing all the time, doesn't always mean death. I looked that up. It's a definition to that. I've talked about this before. When we see crows a lot, that means that we are tapping into our divine self. We are tapping into something deep, and animals can feel it too, because animals are automatically spiritual. So they can feel things even when we can't feel things. As I said, brothers and sisters, nature watches us even when we don't know that it's watching us. We go back and forth and to and fro to our car every day. You don't think birds and squirrels and stuff see us? Yes, they are more spiritual than us. As I seen this morning, I was I got a camera and stuff I can see outside from my computer. So I was looking outside and I was like, wow, all the birds and squirrels, they was all in my yard. Maybe just a coincidence or not. But as I say, I'm telling you, they can feel a heart of a human being. Animals can. And I truly feel this in my soul. I've experienced it. I've seen it in other people's videos and stuff like that. They show animals just come up to them, but you really have to be in touch with oneself and be aware to pay attention to things like that. And when you're connected to nature and that divine, and you connected to your real divine self, animals can feel that, so maybe can be, like I said, it could be coincidence, could not. But all I know, birds and squirrels and everything was in my yard, just chilling, having a good old time. Like, I know it's good vibes over here, because vibes, we don't give off vibes just to people. Even animals can pick up on vibes, and many of us that have pets has experienced that. Animals have feelings and emotions just like humans, even have a sense of humor, but you have to be in that space and be in tune with nature and our divine self to see things like that and experience it. And being connected to our divine self, like me and my son on here on the banner here, We know when we know. It's something we feel. We just feel it. And we feel that connection with all our children. It's different. No one child is the same, but it's like the same connection to all of them, but in different ways. But it all leads back to love and that divine spirit. It's wonderful, because every child is different, young brother or young sister. And on the banner here, my son and I was playing checkers, and I want to start playing chess with him, but I can tell when we first started playing checkers, I play checkers. I wouldn't say I'm great at it, but I'm okay, but you play it a few times, you start learning the moves and the counter moves and all that stuff. So it's amazing watching him. Actually, I play it to see how his mind works and see how he checks how much he pays attention. And the more we played, the better he got. He actually beat me. We're playing here that day we were playing on the banner here. He beat me that day, and he was so excited. Like, yeah, I won. The last time we played, we locked the game up. So, you know what they say, great minds think alike. And not just him, all my children think just like him. They all are intelligent. The biological ones and the spiritually adopted ones, they all are intelligent and smart. As I said in a past podcast, it's going to be some great children. It's going to be some good children. And I think I had to take that podcast down instead of some kind of copyright or something. You know how I go. They're trying to find any little thing they can. So, but anyway, we keeps it moving because we got that connection with that great divine spirit deep within. We don't care about no evil entities on the outside. We living in love. We walking in love. We breathing life. And we on a mission, and we trying to direct our purpose and keep it maintained and keep going and steadfast. All those great things that make a great general, brother, sister, young or old, family member. But yeah, he beat me on the banner here. He beat me that day. As I said a little while ago, the last game we played, we locked it up, literally. We couldn't move. It was like a stalemate. And I was like, that's amazing, how his mind works. So the next one, he was determined. I mean, he was watching my moves, even had me where I was forgetting and double jumping. But I like that in him. That shows how his mind picks up on things and how it learns. And his siblings are the same way. His brothers and sisters, they're the same way. Just in different ways. You might have some youth that learn a little quicker than others. That's just how I go. Back when I was young, it took me a while to learn. But my sons, my children, they learn quicker than I do. I noticed that. And our children they're supposed to be a little more advanced than us. Don't we want our next youth to be a little smarter, a little more advanced and more aware? We should, right? So I do. So that's why we can't break that divine connection with ourselves, our generals, and our circle, our children, of course, those adults that just want to rise, whether young adults or older adults, we golden. I always place that gold over us and our families. They'll all of us prosper, and everything we touch turn to gold. That's called gratitude. And man, just pushing out that good energy no matter what, set that tone every morning, like I always say, because we got to be ready for the unexpected, and that's in the world, it's on social media, person, place, thing within ourselves, especially if we have jobs. You have a job, you definitely better meditate every day before you go. At least think about things just to kind of keep your mind clear and somewhat pure. Because I always like to say, depending on what shift we're working, what kind of job we got, we never know what we're going into. So just kind of keep us from getting too much caught off guard. We can't see the future, but we can damn sure be ready for it. As I say, many times, and all of us say, we get ready. So we be ready so we don't have to get ready. And that's mind, body, and soul, see, hear, and feel. Do all the things, all the tools, all the things we need to do to connect with our youth and ourselves. And never, ever break that great, great divine connection, because it's wonderful. But everybody's an individual. Only we know. We can get all the positive things of the world and from our great teachers out here, brother or sister, from our family members. But it don't mean a damn thing if we're not incorporating it into our lives. And as I always say, folks, that's for me too. So that's what I had. That's why I had this on my banner. It was just, it's capturing beautiful moments. And I capture beautiful moments all the time. Family members too. Sometimes I get it on, film and pictures and cameras. Sometimes I don't. Even off camera, I catch beautiful moments when I can. This life, that's why we gotta stay centered in our lives. And I always say, never ever let ourselves get on this hamster wheel mentality and get off that wheel, and be with our loved ones when we can, and especially think about them even when we're not around them. Keep them. If those who pray, keep your family in your praise. Don't be so busy asking for things. And we ask for strength. That's something we always ask for. But don't be so busy like asking that great divine for things and help me with this. No, call down strength on ourselves and our families, and things we need will come, and the wants will come naturally. Put everybody in there, because again, we are connected to family, generals, people we do care about in our circle. I ain't worried about no ops or nothing like that, because if you listen to me on this channel, I always say, those who enlighten and at a heightened self-awareness, we have no enemies. The only enemy we have is the one within ourselves. We have no enemies. Enemies don't exist when you don't pay attention to them. You ignore them, as T.I. said, till they fade away. Because if you're not doing anything and you're righteous within, and you're not doing nothing, you have no enemies. Enemies make themselves. So pay attention to our purpose. Pay attention to the things of the world, things that's coming down the road. We don't live on this cloud and be oblivious to things that's going on. But at the same time, pay attention to the core. What is the core? Our family. That's the core, of our walk. Our children. We start with ourselves, our children, our families, and we work our way out. Righteous ripple effect. And we stay strong, and we listen to reachers and teachers and advice. Those who are real, emphasis on real. Listen to things that keep us sharp. We're on social media. We don't get entertained too much. We listen to a little bit of the news, little peaks and little things here and there. We have to know somewhat about politicians and things of the world, because, entities around us. We got to kind of, we don't lose ourselves in it, but we pay attention at the same time. Because again, we don't want to live in an illusion, and we do have to be ready for things to come. So I don't want to mislead anyone that listens to me on this channel. But oh, everything's okay, ain't nothing happening. No, I'm not living in that kind of world. But at the same time, brothers and sisters, we gotta do things and have things and research things and make sure we got the right knowledge and pay attention to our families and ourselves so we can be straight, and research whatever we need to research. Right knowledge now so we can be ready for things to come. But one thing overall that'll keep us connected to our children, sons, daughters, a wife if you have one, our brothers and sisters, great families out there that's striving and making it through storms. If nothing else in this life, never ever break that great divine connection with ourselves, our families, our generals in our circle. I say it one more time. Never ever. I'm telling you, I don't care what's going on. If you want to see things, if you want to have good clarity, most days, never ever break that great divine connection. Salute.